started this class yesterday and were able to complete study session 1 and 2. Due to some reasons, we were unable to complete it. By the grace of God today, we will complete the study session 3, 4, and 5. So yesterday we talked about history of extension in the world and Nigeria. And the first study session discusses about agricultural extension in the world. And we also moved on to discuss agricultural extension in Nigeria. And lastly, I think we were able to complete the 2 yesterday, though I rushed before we completed it. I want to encourage you to read more. So let me just paraphrase what we discussed yesterday. I briefly talked about agricultural extension as defined by the Cambridge University in the year 1873 in England, and it described it as a particular system dedicated to disseminate knowledge to the rural people, okay, where they live and work, so that they can improve the quality of life and improve their productivity. So we moved on to talk about various extension activities that had been done and how it was formed in United States of America. We talked that it was major in order to improve the quality of life of rural people. That's why they developed what we call county. County is just like a local government, okay? So we have the federal, we have the state, we have the county, but in Nigeria, we have the state, we have the federal, state, and local government. So that's the county means the local government. So that extension activity and innovation will be taken down to the people in the rural settings. That's why this was done. So, for me, I need to admit some of you just to join. So that is why extension was actually prepared and done. And the way it was done was to help people in the rural settings. We also discussed the 3 main facets of agricultural extension. We talked that it served as a discipline. We said it served as a process, and then it serves as a service, a discipline, a process, a service, and also explain these 3 major phases of agricultural extension. We now move on to agricultural extension in Nigeria. Under that, we talked about the pre-colonial and the colonial period, and we also talked about the post-colonial period. Under the pre-colonial period, we discussed it about before we were colonized. What was done? That the trader or those that goes to another place, another country to sell goods. So they would sell it. After selling something different that they saw there, they will bring it down to their own locality and it will be cultivated. Then during the colonial era, the colonial period, they were introducing new varieties of seeds, of seedlings, of fruits of animals to a place where they believe there is better acclimatization for such animal or plants. So after, we also moved on to discuss about the post-colonial era, and that is where we stop. And we talked about various programs that were introduced to people, to rural people, in order to improve their way of life and to increase their profit. All these things were done to make sure that agricultural extension activity is being used to give innovations to rural people who are the major producers of raw material. So today, I believe you can refresh your memory, and you have been able to refresh your memory by what has just been discussed. So today, let's move on to the other part of the study session, 3, 4, and 5. For those that have been unable to join the class, please encourage yourself and come up, join the class. It's very important So at the end of today, by the grace of God, your quiz and assignment will be uploaded on the LMS for study session 1. So try to do them. If you have not registered your courses, please do so before it is too late. Although the quiz will be extended for those that are just joining us. So it will be extended until they have been able to register on the LMS, okay? So that none of the learners will be lagging behind. All right, so let's move on. Let's continue our work for today. Let me share the screen with you. You cannot see the screen, please let me know.
Yes, ma, we can see it, ma.
Good. Can you still see it? I want to be sure, please. Unmute yourself and respond, please.
Yes, we are seeing it, ma.
Good. So now we have talked, I've said earlier that we have discussed study session 1 and learning outcome 1 and 2. So today, we will be going forth to study learning outcome 3, 4, and 5. And the first one says that, so when you are through with this session, you should be able to define what agricultural extension is. The second one is the typology of extension system. And lastly, the problems of agricultural extension in Nigeria. So, can you still see, please? I want to be sure.
Yes, ma.
Good. Now, definition of agricultural extension. What do you understand by agricultural extension? Agricultural extension could be defined as an out-of-school educational program for clientele consisting of the relevant content, principles, and procedure. Who are the clientele? They are the learners, they are the farmers, they are the ones that are the end users of innovation, which are the farmers. Okay, they are the one we call clientele. The farmers are called the clientele or your audience, who you are training. All right. So agricultural extension also is the application of scientific research and new knowledge to agricultural practices through farmers' education. So you could be asked the definition of these terms. I will give you a lot of definitions under this. Okay, so you have gotten to now. So let's move on to the next thing. So at the end of the class, if I ask you to define agricultural extension in your own time, you should be able to tell me that is the application of scientific research and new knowledge to agricultural practices through farmers' education, or an out-of-school educational program for farmers consisting of relevant content, principles, and procedures. If your area or where you are is noisy, kindly mute yourself, or I will do that for you. So moving on to the next thing, under the definitions. So we can also divide it as one, the transfer of agricultural technologies to the rural farmers, application to improve their farm activity and level of living. You can see that all these definitions, they are still the same thing and they convey the same meaning. Only the English terms differs. Okay, so transfer of agricultural technologies to the rural farmers for application to improve their farming productivity and also their level of living. So every innovation must bring about improvements. As long as the improvement is put forth, it must improve their level of living. If you cannot see what I've shared, please signify, let me know. You can raise up your hand or send a message through the chats, okay? If I need you, okay, I can see someone raising hand up. You cannot see what I'm sharing on the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, let me share again. I don't know what is actually wrong. I've been having this issue. No problem. Let me reshare. Okay, can you now see? Can you
Yes,
Yes,
now
ma.
Yes,
see?
ma'am.
Good.
yes, ma.
So I pray,
Yes, ma.
I pray till the end of the class, it will not reoccur again. So let's move on. Okay, I say that this can also be defined as a transfer of agricultural technologies to the rural farmers for application of improved application to improve their farm productivity and their level or standard of living. Another definition says that is a conscious provision, okay, a conscious provision for educational instruction or technical information for the use of the farmers in taking effectively manage their farm situation for increased productivity and improved living condition. So if I'm you, I'll prefer the first two definitions that were given. And the other one that were just given, which is the transfer of agricultural technologies to farmers for application in improving their farming activity, productivity, and standard of living. So you have had like 4 definitions of what agricultural extension is. So let's move on to the basic task. The basic task of extension. Extension is concerned with 3 major basic tasks. I believe you are with me. So the first one is the dissemination of useful and practical information relating to agriculture and home economics. The dissemination. What is dissemination? Dissemination is transfer, given, okay, given information, new things, given new things, transferring information, okay, dissemination of useful and practical information relating to agriculture and home economics, which is the reality of extension in agriculture. But the second one says that is the practical of such knowledge, the farm situation, farm and home situation. So these are carried out in an informal settings or atmosphere with adults as the main clientele. I told you the meaning of clientele, which are they are the main targets. They are the target audience. Okay. And the last one says that helping people to use the information in order to help themselves. Now, when you look at it together, the first one is dissemination of information, useful information, practical information relating to agriculture and home economics. The second one is the practical application of the knowledge that is transferred, and it will be useful for their home and their farm situations, okay? And which is carried out in an informal settings, not an organized settings, not a format that you have to be coming to class regularly. Where you are is the formal settings. You have to be informed before the class you hold, and it has the frequency of learning a particular stated things educationally. And these things are part of your achievement, which will later be acquired in life. So as you are learning, which is, it's a long-term process. Why under training or transfer information is a short term, is the information innovation that is given at a particular point in time, and when it is given, it is over. You understand? So the last one is you help them. All this information you are given to them is to help them to improve personally, to develop them, so that they themselves will be able to stand and be able to bring about a new thing in their own zone and their family. And their family will also yield to a better person, to be a better person in life. Okay, so let's move on. Now, extension work is also considered as an aspect of adult education, which is different from a formal. I think I've explained all these rules, so I don't think I should dwell much on it again. So extension work is considered as adult education. It's not a formal classroom. as I've explained earlier. It's not a classroom that we need to come together, we need to talk at a particular pace of time, we need to acquire knowledge to be tested. No, everything they are being trained is for them to use them on their farm and home to develop their livelihood, to improve their productivity. Do you understand? Okay. Now, the essence of the extension work is that an educational process is involved in the following ways. One, working with rural people along the line of their immediate and felt needs and interests, which frequently involves making a living, enhancing their level of living, and improving their physical surroundings. We say that it helps them to make a living because when they improve upon what they are doing, it will increase their productivity, which is the actual aim. And as their productivity is increased, the sales of the produce will be better and will be more than what they used to have. Okay. And as they are having sales, they will not think below their income. They will think based on their end as income. And those around them will also see that there has been changes in their life. The next thing, which is the second thing, is conducting worthwhile and acceptable activities in the spirit of cooperation and mutual respect between the extension workers and the rural people. This thing means that all the activities that must be given must be something that is needed, required, acceptable, okay? And as you're bringing it, you must first put yourself in their shoes. You respect them. You look at them being part of you, and they look at you being part of them. That is what we call unity, cooperation, mutual respect for one another, respect for each other. Don't see them as just ordinary farmers. They don't have anything to give. They don't have anything to offer. It's a lie. They have a lot to offer, and you have a lot to give to them. And if you want to accept what you are bringing, you have to accept them as who they are. If they give you food, you have to eat. If you are going to reject it, there are ways you can, but not as frequent as your visitation would be. So you have to be properly organized yourself to see that anything they give, you accept. Anything you give, they also will do what they will accept. The next thing is that utilizing support activities to bring extension work and extension staff up to date through the use of subject matter specialists, resources in person, in-service, constant service, in-service training, conferences, trainings, and like others. So what do I mean? That as you're doing these things, innovations is not stopped. Things are made new every day. New things are popping up every day. And as they're popping up, there is constant improvement upon for those that are involved, those that are special in the area of development. If you are coming to talk to them or to give them about development, about maybe their health, about the food they are eating, about improvement on a particular variety that you believe it can help them on, then you need to bring somebody who is a specialist in that area. Don't just bring a farmer or an extension agent that does not even know anything about it. Introducing them that this is the thing you have to give them this week. This is what you have to distract them as information. No, let it be subject matter specialist. The person must be resourceful. It must have resources needed, because questions can even come out from any angle, from the farmers or from the clientele or from your audience. So if you are not vast in that aspect, what will you give them? What will you say? So that you will not be short of words is better. So then there must be constant in-service training for those in charge of those activities. Then conferences, all right, which are very, very vital. Another thing is utilizing certain teaching. Teaching in what way? Maybe you have been using a particular method of teaching them. You can use various methods. Under extension, we have three major methods. The first one is individual, second one is mass media, and the other one is group. And you can use various things under this type of transferring information or for utilizing as a teaching methods for farmers or for anybody, which are your audience. So utilize certain different teaching methods, which are very, very vital. Now, moving on to the next, which is extension education. Extension education is therefore an educational process directed to bring about change in people. Now, anything when you hear extension education, extension activity, extension innovations, blah, blah, blah. All these things are major on improving the skill, improving the knowledge, improving the behavior of the people. You improve the skill, the knowledge, the attitude, the behavior of the people generally. It is a dynamic process which brings about changes in what people know changes, in what people know as changes, in how they react to situations, and changes in what they can do with their ends. So if you to develop human being could be hard, but the approaches could help. So it depends on approach through which the change is being brought. Okay. So extension worker must therefore do all in his power to build up mutual trust between himself and the farmers. So by doing this, one, you are demonstrating competence in neat practices or skill. You are conducting successful result demonstration, showing genuine interest in the farmers and his family, empathy, to sympathize with them when they are bereaved, when they are celebrating. Maybe if they have a wedding ceremony, you are invited, you come, they will see you, they will trust you, they will believe in you, doing what he promises and only promising what he can do. So when you want to do something, you must do it. If you promise that you are coming, make sure you are available. Then having social philosophy of extension, which is established on healthy relationship between extension workers and the people. Are we together? Are we together?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you see? All right.
Yes.
I hope you can see what is projected. Good. So moving on to the next thing, which is the learning outcome 4, typology of extension system. We have different typologies, but we'll be talking based on the existing ones. So on the purpose of a particular extension service is meant to achieve the goal, okay? There exists different, there are different extension systems. There are different typologies of extension systems. So we'll be talking about them one after the other. We don't have much time to dwell much on it, just for you to understand that extension systems are different, okay? The first one is the commodity-based extension system. And this focused on bringing about increase in productivity of the particular farm enterprise. So when you want to bring it about increase in product, then you talk about the commodity-based extension, and it is common among the cash crop producers. Then you have the contractual extension system. This one talks in regard to the farmers going to a contract agreements with certain agencies for extension service on certain farm enterprise they are agreed to produce for the agency. Now, this one talks about when maybe the agency come to agreement with some set of farmers to give them inputs, okay? Inputs like seeds, provide tractor that work on the farm, to provide a particular breed of birds or animals that they will now rear. All necessary things will be provided. Maybe the drug for the animal, the feeding for the animal. So they are the one that will rear the animal to the point of the desired weeks, or maybe it's on crop production to the point of harvesting. So the only thing the agency will come for is to harvest all the goods. So they will not measure, they will look at the value of the produce. Okay, so that means they will now give them a quota of based on agreements. So that's contractual extension system. The next one is the top-down extension system. This system talks about is aimed at handling perceived potent innovation, the farmers for adoption without consideration for their production needs and system. This is given a particular direction or innovation to farmers. They don't even want them to have a negative thought about it or disagree about it. So this is what we are giving for you. Take it like that. So it's a top-down approach. Information is coming down from the top down to the lower level to the farmers without even asking for their felt needs or asking for what they actually desire to have. The next one is the participatory extension system. This system talks about the setting out that set out to involve the farmers in the generation of innovation. So when this is done, any innovation that will be brought to the farmers, they will be involved. They will be carried along, either in handling or in the technical information that will be given, okay, to the farmers. So both those that are bringing the information and the farmers, they actively participate in extension programs, okay? So that is participatory extension system. The next one is the training and visit extension system. This is commonly done by extension agents. They call them extension agents. And this extension system aims at upbuilding the rural people or rural farmers and production system through regular visits and training of the farmers. Your extension agents will go forth to visit them, to train them, to demonstrate to them either through a piece or a plot of land, to give them results of what has been experienced in other places. And this will be revealed to them. And for them to adopt, it is good to demonstrate method demonstration, providing them with workable technologies and linking them with research systems, right? So the last one under that is the university-based extension system. This is common among the university and the extension agents. So this information will be shared via the extension from the university to the farmers. So the linkage between the university and the farmers is the extension agent. So any innovation that is carried out will move down from the university to the farmers via the extension agent. So this system of extension focuses on selected villages as a model school or model villages for provision of extension services by the particular university within the vicinity of the villages. So they will select a particular village, and this village will serve as a model which will be used. And after getting the result will now be transferred to other villages or other places via the extension agents. I believe we are all together. Please, if you cannot see what I'm sharing, I want you to notify me. All right, thank you. Meet yourself. Let's move on. Now, the last learning outcome for this class is learning outcome for which is the problem of agricultural extension in Nigeria. Agricultural extension in Nigeria has faced a lot of problems, right from the onset of establishment. It was formed during the time, call it agricultural development program. So via this, all the extension activities evolved. So this change in extension system from the ministry-based extension to project-based was an effort to solve an array of problems known to plague extension services in Nigeria. Formerly, it was handled by ministry, but they found out that this could not be helped. But despite all, there are still major problems that are started from the onset of creation of agricultural development program operations, okay, which in view, it was highly promising, but along the line, things were changed, okay, and most of the traditional problems have been elevated, if hadn't been the view of what was made as the onset of creation of this agricultural development program were the major focus. First, one of it is the top-down approach. The top-down approach, I think I've explained it when I was talking about typology of extension. I have explained it that information needs to be shared. Even when you want to impose a particular innovation to the people under, you must give their receiver, make sure you have their opinion about the information. The other thing is the poor funding. Yes, poor funding. Extension agents travels lot of miles in the bush, in the very thick bushes with machines. But the major things that is needed for transportation were not provided. Poor funding, poor extension contracts, poor access to production facilities. They are training, they are giving information, but they don't have these facilities. How would they utilize it? How would they know how to use it? How would they have access to them? Poor trained personnel at field level, poor logistic support for field staff. So all these are problems that were faced by extension agents in Nigeria, but not all. We still have more. So part of our assignment will be online, you Google to know various problems that have been encountered by agricultural extension in Nigeria. Okay, so let me move on to the next, which are my questions. Look at the following questions stated above. The first one is, what is extension agent? Second one is, list the main facet of agricultural extension. The third one is, extension is concerned with 3 tasks. Name and explain them. The fourth one is, how was extension activities carried out during the pre-colonial era in Nigeria? The fifth one says, list 6 government organized extension programs in Nigeria. And the last one, which is the 6th one, says, discuss 2 typology of extension system in Nigeria. So before we call it a day, I want you to give your submission concerning the question. I want to hear from you, please. So unmute yourself and respond. If you are in a noisy environment, you can send messages via the chat box. All right. So unmute yourself, everyone. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for you.
What is the question, ma?
Can't you see the screen? Hello, can't you see the screen? Hello. Can you see the screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay, so I want you to tell me. I'm listening to you. I'm with you. I'm with you. Hello, everyone.
Hello, ma.
I'm with you. I'm listening to you. Unmute yourself. You're in a very good environment. Unmute yourself, please. All right, so pick a question. Pick a question.
Number 1.
Okay. Afolabi roots. I'm listening to you. Okay.
Extension education can be defined as the transfer of agricultural technology
Okay.
application to their farm productivity and level of living.
Right. Good. That's very good. Thank you, Afolabi Roots. Thank you for your submission. I appreciate you. So I'm waiting for the other people to pick a question and answer, please. Pick a question,
Number
select a
6.
question. All right, number 6.
Discuss the topology of. Yes, ma.
Listening. I'm listening to you. I'm with you.
Okay, ma. So the answer is community-based extension system and top-down extension.
Okay.
So that of the
Okay.
community-based extension system, this is the focus on bringing out increased productivity of a particular farm product to the enterprises.
Produce. All right.
Why
Thank you
the
very
down
much.
extension system is the system of extension that aimed and received potential invitation to the farmers.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next person, select a question, answer. I'm waiting. Hello, everyone. If you have not included your matric number on your page, on your Zoom page, please do so. I'm taking your attendance and I'm seeing Adeleye Blessing. Your matric number is not written there. Aziz Mubarak, your matric number is not there. Okay. Adebanjo Yanolua, your matric number is not there. Okay. So who else? Let me check. Infinix Hot Play 10, please include your name and your matric number. Anytime you are coming to class, include your name, your matric number. Victoria Yabo Ishola, include your matric number, please. 2. I think just 2 people came to class today. Others were not available. They were far away. They couldn't answer any of the questions. Okay. Hello? Okay. Someone is raising the hands up. You can speak. Unmute yourself.
Question number 2.
Unmute yourself. Okay, I'm listening. Infinix, you have not changed your name. Unmute yourself. We can hear you. We cannot hear you. Yeah. Alaja, we cannot hear you. Unmute yourself. Okay, I'm listening. Right. Good morning.
Good morning, ma'am. I would like to answer number 3.
All right.
Extension is concerned with 3 tasks. They are number 1, helping people to use the information in order to help themselves.
Okay.
That is 1. The second one is the dissemination of useful and performance. The second one is the practical application of such knowledge to farm and home situations. These are carried out in an informal atmosphere with adults as main.
I'm listening.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm listening to you. We are with you. You are the only one talking. You are listening.
Okay, ma'am. The practical application of such knowledge to farm and home situations. These are carried out in an informal atmosphere.
Okay.
Why the third one?
All right. Thank you very much. Okay.
All right, ma'am. The third one is the
dissemination
of useful and information to agri and home economics.
All right. I have received some messages via the chat box, and I Oladimeji Victor answered question 6. Talks about the typology of dimension, mentioned constructual and the top-down approach. Then Awoleke Boluwatife also picked question 2. He or she picked question 2. The Agriculture Extension Service offer technical advice to agriculture farmers on agriculture to farmers and also supply them with necessary inputs and services support their agricultural production. And also we have Oladimeji Victor completed his own report. Then we have Sani Musa who selected question 2 that says, extension has 3 facets: as a discipline, as a process, and as a service. Thank you very much. We have Awoleke Boluwatife also provide information to support farmers and blah, blah, blah. Thank you. I received all your messages and your chats. I think we can call it a day at the end of all this. I've really had a nice time with you. So I want you to move on to read more and prepare for the next class. Next class will be coming up on Thursday by the grace of God. I will send the chat to you, your WhatsApp. Make yourself available. Just 33 are in class today. So tell others that have not been coming that it won't speak well of them. At the end, your attendance are recorded. It's very, very important. Your quiz will be uploaded on or before the end of today's work. So enjoy yourself and have a good day. Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye, ma.
Bye-bye, ma.
Bye-bye.